What's up? It's time to talk about, is the relationship you're in right now the right relationship? Is it successful? Is it going to lead to you being happy for the rest of your life? Or have you made a mistake? And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. Is the relationship that you're in right now the right relationship? I spent, just a little bit about my story, I spent 28 years in a marriage, 25 years together, only to have that relationship end in divorce. And, one, why did I get married? Number two, was it the right relationship all along? Did I make a mistake? Well, I put a video out here recently and got over 1 million views asking this question. You want to know if your relationship is right? Answer this question. And that is, if nothing changed in the person's behavior that you're with for the rest of your life, would you be okay with being with that person for the rest of your life? If nothing changed in that person's relationship for the rest of your life, would you be okay with being with that person for the rest of your life? That's the question that you have to ask yourself. That's the question that you have to answer. You're in a relationship right now, and I don't care what kind of relationship it is. It could be a marital relationship. It can be a non-marital relationship. It could be work. It could be any kind of relationship you want. I don't care. Siblings. If nothing changed in this person's behavior, would you be okay with being in that person's life or having that person in your life for the rest of your life? That's the question. I'm going to tell you how I arrived at this question. And my answer, when it was asked of me, back in 2008, when my first marriage, was no, I wouldn't be okay. And so the family counseling lawyer said to me, or the family counselor said, well, then you need to prepare your family for divorce. And let's talk about, that. Where are you, right? Think about it. This person's behavior, the person that you're with, is this something you can live with? On my video, I got a lot of comments, thousands of comments from people who are saying we're supposed to change, we're supposed to, evolve, we're supposed to do whatever, and that's true. But there are specific behaviors that happened. The question is, can you live with that? I mean, really, can you live with that behavior? It can be anything. It could be a person is overly critical. They could be a person who nags. It could be a person who would much rather spend time playing video games than spending time with you. It could be a person who doesn't want to have sex with you. It could be a person who doesn't support you. It could be a person who doesn't accept your family. It could be a lot of different reasons why. You have to ask yourself the question, and this is the topic: if nothing changes in the person's behavior that you're with, the relationship you're in, would you be okay with staying with that person for the rest of your life? That's the question. Again, so I did a video several weeks ago. It was after I had a conversation with someone, and they were making all kind of excuses about why they should, and they were going back and forth about why they should or should not stay in a particular relationship. And so I said, let me ask you just, this is the deal breaker. This is the question that you need to honestly ask yourself, and you need to honestly answer it. If nothing changes in this person's behavior, would you be okay with staying with them for the rest of your life? So I'm asking you, would you? And here's what's funny. 95% of the people who responded to this video, 95%, maybe 93, said no, they wouldn't. My answer back in 2008 was no. I would not be willing to stay. This is 25 years of a marriage and 3 sons. And my answer was no. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to remain in the relationship because this behavior was unacceptable to me. It was just not good. I was not happy. And this behavior had lasted the entire marriage. What about you? You're in a relationship right now. If you were in a relationship right now, answer this question honestly. If nothing changes in this person's behavior, would you be okay with staying with this person for the rest of your life? What's your answer? That is the question that you have to answer. And 90% of the people who commented on the video said no. That's the question you have to answer. My answer was no. Here's why. It's not, people have good hearts, but sometimes you are with the wrong person and you can save yourself 20 years of misery by answering that question honestly and avoiding being with the wrong person in your life. I did it 25 years, build a successful businesses, had sons, went to college, was at every football game, trips, making money, all of that good stuff. But the one thing that did not change was this person was critical, naggy. There was no good thing that I could do that would make that person happy. So I was asked the question, why did you marry this person? If that was a behavior that you couldn't accept, why did you decide to be with that person? And excuse my immaturity in this answer. It was because I thought if I married this person, they would see how much I love them and they would change. And this family counselor back in 2008 said these words to me. I will never forget it for the rest of my life. And it is the subject of one of my ebooks. Right? If you click the link in my bio, I will send it to you for free. It's called You Gotta Let Go. 10 Relationship Mistakes. It's Time to Move On is the name of the book. I'll show it to you in just a second. 10 relationship mistakes that let you know it's time to go. Deal breakers. He said these words to me. Dan, he was being flattering. Dan, you're a dynamic person. You obviously have had success in business, the whole 9 yards. He said, but what makes you think you have the power to change anybody? I mean, really, that was a serious question. And I said, Fred, I don't think I have the power to change anybody. He says, because you can't. He says, if you can't accept a person the way they are, you shouldn't mess with them at all. So I'm asking you that question. Since you cannot change people, there's nothing you can do to change a person. Nothing. You can be nicer. You can make money. You can have as much sex as they want. You can whatever. You could do a lot, but you can't change them, right? If there is a behavior that person displays, there is nothing you can do to counteract that. It's just who they are. It's just who they are. So if nothing changes in that person's behavior, are you willing to stay? While you're answering that question, I want to show you guys something. I have a free ebook that I'm giving away. Okay, and I want you to get a copy of it. So I'm going to turn this around here. So this is a book called 30 Days to Success Journal. This book right here. 30 keys to improving your life in 30 days. I do a challenge every year at the beginning of the year. If you click the link in my bio right now, I will send this to you for free. It's absolutely free. It is all kinds of things that I believe that will bless you. You know what I mean? 30 days to success. You will learn things like day one, get yourself a dream. Most people spend their entire life never achieving their dreams. Dreams are important. They push you to be better. Without a dream, it will be virtually impossible to live a dynamic life. Do not allow yourself to be stuck in mediocrity. And then there's a workbook part of it, right? What's your takeaway from this particular point? What steps can you take to make positive changes? Pour your heart into your thoughts. An opportunity for you to write down really what kind of thoughts that came to your mind when you read this particular passage. Do you have a dream? Let's say in relationships, right? You might have a dream in your relationships. I mean, one of the things I discovered early on is, I'm pro family for real. Like I don't belong to the streets. I'm pro family. And so, having a family, being a father, those kinds of things they're important to me. And so I was willing to suffer and sacrifice through a bad relationship to keep the family together. But when my sons went off to college, it seemed like it got worse. So the kids were masking and taking the attention away from the horrible relationship. And so when I was asked that question, if nothing changes in this person's behavior, would you be okay with staying with them for the rest of your life? And my answer was no, I would not. I wouldn't be okay with it. And so he says you need to prepare your family for divorce. Now, at the time, it was kind of complicated. I had a successful business that I was running, home, all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? The regular stuff that people have. And I had to make a decision about how I was going to dissolve that stuff, how I was going to break it to my sons. It was tough. It was tough. So if you want to join me, click the join me button. Wherever that is on here. And if you have a question you want to ask me, I'll be more than happy to answer that question. But the question of the day is the relationship you're in the right one? If nothing changed in that person's behavior, if nothing changes, would you be okay with living like that for the rest of your life? What's your answer? What's your answer? Now, in my current marriage, the answer is yes, absolutely. And I see a lot of you saying, no, you wouldn't be. So you have to take your life back. You have to make a decision and listen, there is nothing that you can recover from, and it's not too late. I was 44 years old when this question was posed to me. 44. That was 11 years ago. Well, 12 years ago. Well, I think it was like 13. Anyway, you got to ask yourself that question. So I'm asking you. You're in a relationship. You're feeling some kind of way about it, happy or not. The question is, if nothing changed, would you be okay? If nothing changes, then that person's behavior, the things they do, how they treat you, how they treat others, would it be okay? Question posed here is, did I have separation anxiety? Let me tell you kind of what happened with me. So imagine 25 years in the marriage, right? And I'm a husband and a father. That's just part of who I am. So my sons had gone off to college, and now it's just us. I'm trying to figure out, what's going on. The question is posed. So the first thing I did is we separated. I moved up the street, left everything. Literally, I left everything. I left the house. I left her car. I left all of the furniture. I left everything. I just took my clothes, and I was good because I knew I could start over if I needed to. And I got a 6-month lease thinking it was going to be 6 months and we can work through it. But it didn't happen that way. It was, 5 months into this moving out that this question was posed to me. And then I realized I'm not going back. With that being said, did I have anxiety? No. Let me tell you what I was excited about. Okay. So I got married when I was young. I was 19 years old. And I was excited about learning who I was. Right. I knew I had done everything I could to help my sons, get to the next level in their lives. But I was excited about a couple things. I knew how to cook a little bit, but I figured, okay, I can learn how to cook a little more. There are some things in parts of the city that I'm in that I hadn't even seen. I had been here 17 years, but I hadn't even seen it, right? So I can go see a couple things. I enjoy traveling. So, I had the money and the time to do those things at that time. So I was excited about that. Now, I'm a little different, right? Meaning I always see what's possible, not what's impossible. I am a glass half full guy. So even though this was a pretty challenging situation, I always looked at what the good would be in it. And by the way, if you have a glass of wine, drink a glass of wine with me. So I wanted to see what positive spin I could put on it, what positive thing I could make out of it. Because that question was shocking to me, right? Another question that is underlined, that question is, well, why did you stay so long? Why did you stay if this person's behavior was so abhorrent, if this person's behavior was so challenging, why did you stay so long? Because I was hopeful that it would change. I was wishing that something would change about it, right? At the time. But when that question was posed to me, I realized, man, it ain't gonna change. You've talked about it, month after month, year after year. It's not going to change. So you got to either accept it or not. Right? What about you? Is there a behavior in your current relationship that you're like, man, I can't do this. I can't do it. And you're like, am I right? Am I wrong? Am I being selfish? Am I not being selfish? No, you're not being selfish. It's your life. It's great to do that life with somebody else, but it's your life. But if that person's behavior makes you unhappy, it's just rubs against you, you got to make a decision for yourself. So the video asks the question. You want to know if your relationship is right? Answer this question. If nothing changes in this person's behavior for the rest of your life, would you be okay with being with this person for the rest of your life? What's your answer? What's your answer? Now, I want to address this question or this comment from Angie. She said the answer to the question is no, but he is not in a good place in his life, and I feel I have to help him. I want you to listen to me, Angie. There is nothing you can do to make him do better. You can support him in any way, shape, form, or fashion, but he has to do the work. And if you don't think that he is going to do the work, if you don't think that he is going to put in the effort, if you don't think that he's going to make it happen with or without you, you got to think about yourself. I thought the same thing that you thought. And that was, if I left the relationship, what would happen to her? In all of those years, that's what caused me to stay. But it didn't get better. It didn't. So, what makes you think your help is going to cause him to get to the... It might. It might. I tried. Honestly, I tried for 25 years. Another question. And if you have a question, you can leave it in the comments. I'll do my best to address it. What advice would I give my younger self? Since we're talking about relationships, what advice would I give my younger self? Listen to me. Believe what you see. Believe what you see. That's one. So if a person is acting some kind of way and you don't, it doesn't jive with you, that's who that person is. Believe what you see, right? If you think they're a liar, if they're lying to you, you see that and you think they're going to change, you got another damn thing coming. If you think that they're going to all of a sudden become an entrepreneur and they've been lazy for their whole lives, your whole relationship, it's not going to happen. It's not. I'm not saying people can't change, but it takes time to change a person's actions because it's done through their thinking. If it's habit, if it's something that they've been doing for a long time, they have to reprogram their thinking in order to change. Okay, so the two pieces of advice that I would give my younger self is believe what you see, and number two, the thing that I talked about earlier. I have to understand that no matter how confident I am, how much I believe in myself, how much of a change agent I can be, I have no power to change the individual, you or anybody else. So if they are assholes, if I don't want to be with an asshole, I need to keep it moving. Believe what you see and recognize no matter how much confidence you have, belief in yourself that you have, you cannot change people. You can ask people to change, but they have to do the work. Period. 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 My 4-year relationship is crumbling down. I don't know what to do. We had a fight and she blocked me. Listen to me, sir. Listen to me. Don't pursue that at all. I wouldn't. People, they're blocking you for a reason because they want to stop communication. Right? Stop the communication. Let the dust settle. And like one of the people here said, focus on yourself. Do something for you. The first thing I did was true story, is when I moved into my apartment back in 2010 after 2008 after my breakup, separation, is I went to Walmart and I bought like 5 30-minute meal cooking magazines, because I hadn't been doing any cooking in my family other than breakfast and some other stuff. I was the sous chef, chopping and cutting, but still I went and bought some books. So I started to invest in that part of my life. I wanted to become self-sufficient. I already knew how to wash clothes and clean all that stuff, right? But I was not the cook in my house. So I took that on, and I started to learn how to eat healthy and how to cook for myself. And when I discovered how easy it was to cook and that I had been cooking wrong all these years, I was pissed off I was so mad, because I didn't realize how simple and easy it was. What I'm saying is I invested in myself. I started working out more. I started taking care of my body, my life. I focused on me. And when you're focusing on yourself, your own personal growth, you ain't got time to be worried about nobody else. And so you got to take care of you. I don't want you to wake up at 40, 50, 60 in a relationship with somebody who has been doing the same thing for 30 years. And you are hoping, wishing, and praying that it would change, and nothing has changed. It just means you got to do something about it for you. You have to do something about it for you. So that's the question of the night. If nothing changes in the person's behavior that you're with, would you be willing to stay in that relationship for the rest of your life? Would you be okay? What's your answer? While you're answering, once again, if you want this free success journal, right? If you want it, click the link in my bio and I will send it to you for free. This journal is a top seller, but I'm giving it to you for free because I want you to succeed. Day 6, focus on what other people need in the relationship, not just you, right? The way you build lasting relationships is to focus on what the other person needs more than your own. Selflessness trumps selfishness. So one of the challenges that I had in my 28-year marriage was just that, right? This is kind of how it all went. I was working in my room at 11 o'clock at night, and she walked in the room and said, "Hey, you know what? It's very apparent this marriage is over." We had just had a good day together, and I was like, "What you talking about?" Now, I have a general rule in all relationships, and that is, you can never say to me you don't want to be with me, because if you do, I can never trust that you won't say it in the future. So it's over for me at that particular point, right? Now, in this relationship, I had been in it for 25 years, so I was willing to give some kind of concession, but you can't say that, right? Because I will never be able to trust that you won't say it again. That's just me. Some people can get past that. I can't. You can't. To me, that's rejection. You can't tell me that you don't want to be with me, and then think I'm gonna stay. I'm not. So after about 4 hours of conversations trying to understand what she was saying, I was even more confused. So I packed a bag and I left that night. And I never came back. That was it. User 563 says, you would stay in a relationship if she paved the way for communication. You're gonna be sad, man. Man or woman, you're gonna be sad. because you're waiting on them to do something, it's probably not going to happen. No relationship that you're in, I don't care what kind of relationship it is, should never feel forced. If it's right, it should never feel forced, ever. It should be easy. It should be like the right hand in the left hand. That's it. It should be easy. All of these forced relationships. I had a conversation with a lady the other day. She was a divorcee. Why'd you get divorced? Well, I was pregnant, lost the baby. No need to stay in the relationship. I said, why did you get in a relationship in the beginning? Well, I was raised by my aunt and uncle and their pastors. You should have just told him you ain't doing it. You know what I'm saying? You're not. The relationship wasn't right. I mean, it is what it is. People do that all the time. Why did you get married the first time when I was 19? Well, because she was insecure and jealous, and I wanted to show her that I loved her and I wanted to be with her. And so I married her, and that shit didn't change for 25 years. It did not. So the same person that was jealous in the beginning was still jealous. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was going to change it. I thought my commitment to her would make it change. It didn't. It's not going to happen. It's not. 25 years later. Now, listen, 3 great sons, right? I do not regret that. But I couldn't do it for another 25 years and not be who I am, because I'm trying to not offend this other person. Let's talk about that. I couldn't spend another 25 years not being my authentic self because I didn't want to offend this other person. Let me say that again. How much time are you willing to spend not being yourself because you don't want yourself to offend the other person? And that's a shitty way to live. B. Smith, I'm going to tell you the truth, man. I love you. I love you guys for real. And I will spend the rest of my life. This is my motto. This is my mantra. I will spend the rest of my living days. I will spend the rest of my life helping you get to the next level in yours. That's what I care about. And if you can avoid some of the mistakes that I've made so that your life is better, is happier, is more satisfying, I'm good with that. So click the link in my bio. I'll send you the free success journal. I'll send it to you today. As soon as we get off this live, I'll have my team send that to you because I want you to have it. So you got to do what you got to do for you. I mean, I couldn't see myself for the next 25 years not being me. I spent 25 years compromising on who I was as a person so that it made the other person feel comfortable with being who they are. I'm going to say that again. I spent 25 years compromising on who I was, my authenticity, right? So that the other person could feel comfortable being who they are, and it still didn't work. Peggy, I mean, I really appreciate you saying that you're sorry, and that's cool. But let me explain something to you. Somebody said this. I heard this years ago. In order for somebody to live, somebody has to die. So my pain right? The pain that I've experienced over 25 years through a failed relationship selection. The goal of me using this pain and transparency is to help you avoid it. I mean, doctors go to school for years to learn how to heal your pain. The other thing I want you to understand, it is not 25 years of loss. It's 25 years of lessons that now have led to 8 years, almost 8 years of wedding bliss. So without the 25, 28 years in the first relationship, the current 8 years would not be possible. Because I wouldn't have learned the lessons. So while it was tough as hell, challenging, and none of my family knew. I would never throw anybody that I'm in a relationship with under the bus. So none of my family knew until the relationship was over. And then it was like, what happened? I thought you guys were so great. You put on a great front. People think things are beautiful. And then when you get to your house, all hell breaks loose. That was my life for 25 years. 25. Lovely Leah, you're right. Mama can't break up no relationship that the man don't allow. So you got to keep it moving. It's tough. Get the ebook. Click the link in my bio and let me send you the 30-day success journal for free. Click it. You can also DM me and I'll give you a link to my ebook store if you want to purchase a book on relationship success. There's a people are struggling. I have a lot of people that I talk to that are struggling with how do I move on? Dan, I got kids. How do I move on? I've been in this relationship for so long. How do I? And I say, there's a book I have called it's called It's Time to Move On. Right? 5 relationship mistakes that let you know, 5 relationship deal breakers, to let you know it's time to go. You gotta, what are some of those deal breakers? When there is no respect in the relationship. I was having a conversation with somebody today. She was talking about her sister who has been married for almost 20 years to a guy. She's very successful. He is challenged in terms of work. He's a blue collar guy. She's a white collar person, does real estate. And she's struggling in that relationship. And I told her, I said, listen, it's because they're functioning as 2 separate individuals in the relationship. They're not functioning as a team. And if they're not meant for each other, they need to move on. Stop playing games like that. You know what I'm saying? Just stop. Move on. Keep it moving. You know, you can't stand him and he can't stand you. Why y'all staying together? Oh, we got a house together. Sell it. We got a business together. Sell it. Separate it. Do something. But don't live your life miserable. When are you going to live a happy life? When are you going to be able to take care of you? When are you going to be able to live a life that you can be proud of? You know what I'm saying? From age 19 to age 44, it was hell. I'm not no fuss and no fight. Man, I wasn't going to leave because I had them kids, them sons, and I'll stand on the top. I'll stand on my head if I have to. But when my sons left, everything changed. All bets are off. I wanted to be happy. And I was not going to let that stand in the way. So the video asked the question, do you want to know if your relationship is right? Then ask yourself this question. If nothing changes in this person's behavior for the rest of my life, would I be okay with being with this person for the rest of my life? That's the question. And let's put another spin on it. That's your personal relationships, marital relationships, boyfriend, girlfriend, family relationships, work relationships. If nothing changes in those relationships, would I be okay with staying in the relationship for the rest of my life? If you cannot unequivocally and honestly answer that question, yes, then you need to move on. You need to move on. Because you can't change anybody. Period. I love you. Click the link in my bio. I will send you the free ebook today. Join me in the next couple days on another live. Take care of yourself. Make decisions for yourself. You need to be happy, and it's not too late. I love you. Take care.